Greetings, blessings, brothers and sisters. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna, here with you today to speak briefly about the upcoming June 6th triple Stargate portal. Now, for those of us on the Ascension journey, we're very familiar with the Stargate portals, and when they happen, we know that they are always on major triple dates. It's a triple Stargate portal, and in a year, most years, there's only one of those, and this year happens to fall on June 6th. For those of you who are not familiar with that, it's because 2022, this year, adds up to 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, and June is the month of 6, and the day of 6 is the 6th. So I want to briefly speak about this because it's no different from any other triple portal from the perspective of the way portals serve. And at the same time, it's hugely different from other triple portals from the perspective of the numerology. So, and just briefly, I want to say other portals happen. We always know, for example, the Lionsgate portal that happens every year on August 8th during the Leo Stargate, and that's been a very famous one, mostly because most of the extraterrestrial star family races who are benevolent work with us on those portals. They're celebrated by, it's a portal that is specifically adopted by Pleiadians and Sirians and high councils from benevolent star families who knew that starseeds would hear that call on that date, and it was wired into, or programmed, for lack of better words, into our dormant DNA, and that it would be a calling for us. So we know that that's a significant portal every year. We also know for most people who are aligned with the higher trajectories, we understand the master portals. Master portals are typically linked to the month of 11, as in November, and the number 11, as in the 11th day. Those are master numerology. We could also do 22. So, for example, this particular year, we had a massive window portal from February 2nd to February 22nd, and that was a big window. And these portals obviously are dated in sacred numerology, but also they're very significant for assisting humanity, and especially those who are consciously and deliberately aligning with the ascension path, the ascension journey, to utilize the energies on those portal dates. So coming back to this particular upcoming portal on June 6th, it's the only true triple portal of this year where the numbers align with the energetics of 6. So in sacred numerology, 6 signifies heart center. It correlates to the heart center, which is the portal that is in our sacred heart. Our sacred heart center, also known as the chakra of the heart center, is a portal in of itself, and many people don't realize that this is the one chakra center that is known for 2 colors, green and also magenta. The green signifies the earthly connection that we have. The magenta, or pink, fuchsia color of the heart center, signifies the gateway to love in the higher realms, because the heart-centered chakra is a portal. So reflecting back towards this June 6th and the sacred numerology of 6, which is the heart-centered connection to the higher realms, or the non-physical realms, also the multidimensional realms beyond the physical, we access that energetically through the heart center, our own sacred heart center. And so this particular portal of the June 6th year of 2022 is a triple portal where we are going to be accessing the multidimensional realms through opening more of our sacred heart center and recognizing our own sacred heart to the higher realms. Now, coincidentally, I want to share this because it's so relevant. It's very interesting that in modern day third dimensional culture, modern day third dimensional reality, the idea of 666 is associated oftentimes, in mainstream ideology associates it with what? The devil or bad luck. Same thing with 13, by the way. When you look at the number 13, it was considered to be a bad luck number. And it's very interesting because both of those numbers are very sacred. So very sacred numbers that are associated with the bridge to higher realms, each in their own different way. And so if you buy into and believe, for me, it's not a belief system, that our third dimensional paradigm was largely hijacked, and has been fed a lot of mis and disinformation. Of course, two of these most significant numbers, such as the 666 combination, or even the number 13 as another example, have been sort of hijacked, and the information about them we've been misled and been given false information. A similar concept is how, the whole woo-woo reality has been so kind of abused in mainstream movies so as to cast a false shadow onto the whole, astrology or numerology or healing or psychic phenomena, to discredit it. And that is one of the tools of that old paradigm. That's one of the tools that is utilized to discredit anything that could really be a truly powerful tool to assist humans in awakening. So, not to get this, sort of go down that pathway in this conversation, but I just want to demonstrate that very often what's real, true, accurate, and effective is discredited in the lower realms of third dimensional reality. And of course, movies and entertainment is utilized as a tool to discredit a lot of this stuff. Nonetheless, the number 6 is a very sacred number from the perspective of the heart center. It really translates to heart-centered care, compassion, and love. And if we translate the sacred numerology in the triple portal of 666, what we're really talking about is a sacred portal day that will energetically assist those of us who are choosing to anchor in even more love and compassion in and through our sacred heart center and our own portal to the higher realms, further assisting us to up-level into our multidimensional consciousness, the multidimensional beings that we truly are, where we unify with our multidimensional aspects, which includes our mastery and our Christos Sophia avatar selves. And that is really what that translates to, is the union of our sacred feminine, our sacred masculine, and our crystalline consciousness, our Christos consciousness, our avatar selves that knows ourselves as aspects of divine source, multidimensional beings, reclaiming our true divinity and the rightness of our divine alignment, and so much more that's associated with that, so that we no longer need to play and experience necessarily the third dimensional reality, which we know is just in and of itself collapsing on itself. So, and what we get to do as we activate through our hearts, our sacred heart center, and unite with our multidimensional selves and be more of our Christos Sophia avatar self, is we get to facilitate and assist humanity in the awakening journey, utilizing more of our consciousness and helping them to not make it such a painful and experience that has so much suffering in it. And of course, we can use the example, very easy, great example of 2020 and the 2 years that have followed, where many people were experiencing such horrific experiences because they were unaware of the third dimensional reality kind of collapsing in on itself. And they did not know how yet to take this kind of a leap into the higher dimensional realms. So again, these portals, these triple portals every year are hugely significant. So in that sense, this June portal is the same as every other portal. But what's different about it is that it's the first portal we've ever encountered where it has these kind of negative connotations associated with it that could potentially, derail those of us who don't understand the higher meanings and the significance and how, the tarnishing, so to speak, of such a sacred day, of such an important day that's really designed to open up and activate more of our heart centers, which is the capacity to love, to care, and to have compassion. And this is what is required for our ascension. And it is required for the evolutionary journey that humanity is on. Because, again, referencing back just as this very obvious example over the past, especially the year 2020 and 2021, certainly still going on for many people around the planet and animals too. If you're without your connection to source, however you know and understand and identify that source, the world is an incredibly scary place for many. And if you're without that inner guidance system that guides you to the realms of love and compassion and care and service and contribution, that is also a significant indicator of the number 6. If you're without that activated in your own energy field, then you're being led by fear, domination, manipulation, control, secrecy, mis and disinformation. And I use the word "you're," but I mean us as a collective, right? For those of us who haven't found our way, we can be very easily misguided through mis and disinformation. This is the whole reason we have these portals, is to help really bring the awakening beings together on particular dates. These are like pre-arranged, pre-agreed to dates for awakening beings, so that we know this is a significant portal where the energies are going to intensify and amplify that which we are becoming, so that we can bring it into and infuse our entire bodies and beings with these new higher frequencies from the higher realms, and so that we can anchor into our physicality, our physical forms, and so we can also activate more of our light codes, our light bodies, and of course radiate that out through us, so that those we interact with and cross paths with will also be, inspired and uplifted positively by these higher frequencies. And of course, we assist as well Gaia Sophia on her ascension journey, because she is the one ascending as well. And by anchoring more light into our vehicles, that brings us into more harmonious experience with Gaia Sophia. And then no matter where we are on the earth, doesn't matter what's going on the earth, our energy fields are protected. So it doesn't matter if we interact with, a space in physicality that has a hurricane, our energy field tends to be just really, really protected. It doesn't matter if it's a tornado or if it's a virus, whatever we're interacting with, our frequency is so high and pure that we naturally are cared for by Gaia, because we're in harmony with her. So in any case, coming back to the whole triple portal of June 6th and the 666, in sacred numerology, this translates to the bridge to the higher realms, or it could easily be translated to the bridge to heaven. And so the way we translate this in physical is in the physical, creating heaven on earth. And again, heaven is just symbolic of love, of compassion, of kindness, of happiness, of health, of well-being, of dreams manifested and materialized, of living our most benevolent, best lives. So I hope you will join me for the next DNA activations call, which is on June 6th. of course, on this day of this triple portal for this year of 2022. I just want to say I've been doing these calls for so long, and what is amazing to me is that in these simple calls, during the course of one of these webinars, which is, by the way, they're every time brand new. They're always new and different. They're always related to the collective of the group that comes through. We're always interacting with versions of ourselves in the higher realms, whether they're ascended masters, divine goddesses, of course, our star family races, which in a sense, the benevolent ones are future versions of us and who we evolve into. We're always interacting with the collective of animal consciousness, Gaia Sophia's consciousness herself, and of course the sun, Solaris consciousness. We're always getting information, energy, guidance, and activations from these higher realms and the benevolent beings who we interact with. But more than that, in addition to that, just the basic opening, you are learning to activate and work with your own theta brainwave. Just that alone. You are learning to activate your third eye. And for those of you who do it regularly with me, and so many people join, over and over again, it's a third eye activation every time. And for those of you who participate, every time we are clearing out the core pillar, which is basically our major chakra centers, and you are learning how to do it for yourself on the call. So not only are you getting the DNA activations, which, by the way, most people, when they do DNA activations, it's very generic, but we're going really deep into the DNA. So you're getting those DNA activations. You're getting generic ones as well, which there's a difference, right, between really specific key codes, star code markings, divine virtues, which are the virtues and qualities that we need to develop as we ascend. You're also getting clearings on old patternings that are no longer beneficial to you. Right? That's what we do. But of course, it's the basics that you get every time. Third eye activations, theta brainwave, learning how to access that theta brainwave, which is the telepathic super brainwave highway, that people don't even know how to do that. And of course, you're clearing out your core pillar each and every time, opening up each and every one of the major chakra centers. And on top of that, just in the opening meditation part alone, you start building your auric field. Strengthening your auric field. Why is that so important? It's important because especially for us empaths, us super sensitives, us highly sensitive beings who start feeling everything around us, we start feeling everyone else's stuff and energy, which is a beautiful gift. But when you start feeling stuff that doesn't feel so good, when your auric field is built and strong and the light that's radiating out around you is strong, your field does not have to feel the density of another unless you desire to, right? Unless it's serving you in some way or you're choosing it. But overall, your light body is being strengthened. You're building your light body and you're building your auric field. This stuff happens on every single one of our calls, our webinars. And then in addition to that, we get all the multidimensional beings and the support and assistance, channeled information, and of course, yes, DNA activations, both generic DNA, just really activating the dormant DNA, but also in addition to the generic DNA, we get sacred key codes, star code markings, divine templates, divine virtues, and every call, they're always different and unique. And of course, each call these days, just because of the physical world that we're living in, we also include codes of immunity and imperviousness in each and every one of our calls. So you get those as well. Immunity and imperviousness to any and all viruses, immunity and imperviousness to EMF technologies, immunity and imperviousness to chemtrails, you name it. It's the stuff that's out there. When we start activating immunity and imperviousness, we completely eliminate fear of having to even interact with that stuff or even feeling like we have to be afraid in any way. And when you're not attracting it to you, it's not around you energetically. And when you're immune and impervious, you're vibrating at an entirely different frequency from those things that you could, in a third dimensional paradigm, contract, let's just say, or, that you would be vulnerable to. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. I really wanted just to share that clarity for you today about this whole concept of the 666 and how it's kind of been tarnished, by the lower dimensional, mis and disinformation, the whole control, domination, manipulation, secrecy, coercion system of 3D, where others profit to the harm and detriment of the masses by largely, in part, by discrediting things such as a triple Stargate portal, such as energy healing, such as astrology, such as like anything that could actually improve and better humanity as a collective. And so I just wanted to debunk that today for you and to facilitate your awakening on this, because this is going to be a very, very powerful portal. And especially because it's so symbolically connected to our own heart center and that energy field, right? That is such an important chakra center for us, and so significant right now, especially as it relates to the ascension of humanity, the awakening, and the improvement of our overall health and well-being. Because as we know, and I'll start to wrap up here, but as we know, heart centers start to get, people start to have heart palpitations, heart murmurs, heart irregularities when this chakra center is blocked. And of course, because of all the 5G towers, going up, they're and all the stuff going on in the physical world, like chemtrails and things like that, it's really messing with people's bioenergy fields, and it's messing with their heart center, which is why they get these heart palpitations, heart murmurs, heart irregularities. And this is such an important heart activation day based on the number 6 alone. Sacred numerology tells us what we're going to be focusing on this particular triple portal. So I hope you will join me, and I hope this has been helpful to you. These webinars are extremely powerful and extremely progressive. And if you're a newbie and this doesn't make as much sense to you, that's okay. It's all vibrational. You don't have to understand it all with your left brain. But when you actively engage and participate, it starts to turn on parts of your dormant consciousness that really make you start to feel as if you've known this stuff all along. And that is what has happened. I have clients, and it's amazing how I've watched them blossom over the years. Students, many of my students who participate regularly and ongoing in the DNA activations, and also those who come on my sacred retreats and join me for events, it's amazing to watch them blossom. And when they started with me in the earlier days, they really didn't understand all of this. But as they participate, it just becomes part of their knowing as much as it is mine. And it's within us all, right? It's all there dormant, waiting for us to activate and to awaken it. And of course, these triple portal days are the major gateways of the year for us to unify and up-level. And that is what we use them for. So again, I hope you will join me. The way you sign up and register is at my website at lorispagna.com. Under the live events tab, you will see the Dormant DNA Activations event coming up on June 6th, of course, 2022. And you'll see it's called Speed Activations. That's because when I started doing this, I just wanted to activate DNA really fast for people. But as I did it, it grew and grew and evolved. And now it is even so much more. I think you will love it. In fact, I know you will. And you will hugely benefit from it as well. So please do join us. And by the way, your animals will benefit too. We always include animals. And we also include children. Our children under the age 18 and under, and permission to do so. So that is a beautiful thing. We get to help our lineages. And we do a lot of clearing for our ancestral lineages as well, as we are guided and given permission to do so. So this is where we get to help those we love. And they don't even have to actively participate, and they don't even have to know about it. We never override the laws of free will, but we do get certain permissions and consents from the various universal laws and the higher realms on how we're allowed to help without breaking any of the universal laws. So again, huge benefit here, and I'm looking forward to having you with me for this upcoming June 6th event, the Triple Stargate Portal this year. Again, just head over to LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab and join us for the DNA activations called Starseed, Sacred Key Code activations, Divine Template activations, and so much more. Lots of channeling and energy healing transmissions in there as well. Okay, I love you so much, brothers and sisters of the light. Thank you so much for being with me and joining me here and now, and hopefully again on the June 6th call. And until next time, I'm sending you my infinite love, light, and divine joy. I'm sending it your way right here and right now with all my love. Okay, farewell for now. Bye-bye.